Hello, I am obsessed with the show Naked and Afraid, and that show teaches you everything you need to know about feminism. It also teaches you everything you need to know about the differences between men and women and the general problem with Western culture today. And Bill Whittle talks about this. He says that the solution to America's problems is to spend 3.5 days in the woods. And that would show us how hard it is to survive and how lucky we are to have everything we have. Naked and Afraid encapsulates this sort of arrogance we all have about how great we are. We have all these campaigns to promote our self-esteem, and our self-esteem is way too high, and women's self-esteem is way too high. They think they can do anything. They all think they're LeBron James. They kick ass, and there's no challenge they can't handle. And when I see this show, I see, oh no, actually, we're not that tough. We're not that great. And women aren't the same as men. Now, when you say this to people who haven't thought about it before, aka liberals, they say, oh, sexist pig, Western chauvinist asshole Gavin McInnes is a caveman who wants to hit women on the head with a club and drag them back to the cave because he says men capture big game and women nurture around the cave. That is generally the truth, okay? Women do tend to those rules. And liberals, I want to explain something to you that's very basic that you don't seem to get. There's general and there's universal. Generally, men and women adapt to their biological roles. These are biological roles that we see in chimps too. Baby chimps like to play with trucks that are, when they're male, baby chimps that are female like to play with dolls. Generally, that is the same with male and female human beings. Universally, of course, there are exceptions. So just because you found a survivalist who kicked ass on Naked and Afraid doesn't destroy my point. In fact, one of my favorites was Alana Barfield. She was a Gucci salesperson who we all assumed was going to totally fail, and she kicked ass. She was amazing. However, a far more typical episode and a more representational depiction of the way men and women are would be Bo Stewart and Debbie Harris. I think this was on the 40 Days or Nothing episode, the XL one. They've got all kinds of different variations, and this one was different teams competing for 40 days. Now, the Bo Stewart and Debbie Harris team were awesome because she is so proud of herself before and after for surviving. Before, she was wearing a shirt that said, "I will thrive." And this guy is a U.S. Army Special Forces officer with teenagers. She's a mother of young children. What the hell are you doing going out there, lady? Why are you trying to prove this point? You have kids. You're risking diseases. You're risking death. Why are you going away from your kids for 40 days? When I'm away from my kids for 5 days, I feel like I'm getting chemotherapy. And I'm a dude. She's a mom. It's baffling, and it can't be the money. This is reality shows. They pay maybe $1,000 a month at best. They usually just pay the wages you're missing by being away from your job. Anyway, Bo Stewart's a totally different case. Special Forces officer, and I like the idea of him being out there. First of all, his kids are teenagers, so they're not going to miss him that much. Yes, he's taking a risk. The guy takes a risk every day. That's his job. He's an army brat. His dad risked his life every day. And I like seeing that kind of guy on TV because we're depicting soldiers wearing red high heels, and we're having women do push-ups as the Marines, and there's pictures of the Marines saying, "We are proud, Army strong," and it's some woman in a dress holding a clipboard. I prefer the Bo Stewart image of America's military out there. But here is a typical example of how that episode went.
It's just disgusting, but there's no other food option, so gotta take what you can get. You want them?
Go ahead. No, keep going until you start feeling better. Yeah. So.
Kind of tastes a little bit like coconut, but like oily.
What a thriver she is, huh? She dared to eat one of the many things he caught her. That whole episode was her saying thank you and sitting there in the cave as he went out and got food. He caught a caiman, a baby caiman. He caught big fish. They ate together. And they came back. She's all proud of herself. She's an inspiration. Her poor kids barely know her when she comes back. 40 days? And they both, he got leishmaniasis. He almost lost his ear to this disease. And they were getting bit by these sandflies that carry diseases. Why did she take that risk? What is she proving? Whatever she set out to prove as far as kick-ass, badass feminists go, she proved the opposite. She proved my point, that men and women have predetermined roles. Now, that was a typical episode, and I love that it encapsulates the reality that the narrative is pushing on us. The narrative is men and women are exactly the same, and women are badass. They can kick your head in, dude, and they shouldn't have kids. Why should a dude with tits have kids? There's no such thing as gender. The reality is Bo and Debbie. But the reason we let the narrative stray so far is because men in general, we love big game, we love big decisions, we love big picture thinking. We also don't like petty shit. So if you're gonna nag us and say, I'm a woman, hear me roar, we just sort of go, yeah, okay, great. Now here is a very hyperbolic example of how Naked and Afraid sums up feminism. This is a woman who said, I kick ass. The episode was Chris, Honora, and Luke. I presume it's not Honora. Chris, Honora, and Luke. And if you want to see feminism in a nutshell, in a perfect caveman representation, check out this clip.
You gonna go for it? You gonna make water?
I'm gonna lie here a little bit, and then I'm going to work on fishing.
Okay.
After 9 days of very little food or sleep, Honora, Chris, and Luke are running on empty.
Chris, do you think there's something wrong with me lying here for like 20 minutes and not like immediately getting on my fishing?
Fish at your own pace, girl.
Luke seems to have a problem with it.
I did not say that. I'm totally fine with it. You're saying I need to sit here 20 more minutes, and that's fine.
I mean, if I sat here for 2 more hours and then went fishing, would you have a problem with it?
I don't care what you do.
I mean, seriously, I have done so much, and I'm sorry if I need to do the same amount of work that you guys are doing all the time.
No one's saying that.
I'm trying to be a good teammate, you know?
I understand that, and that's totally fine.
I don't want to feel pressured, and also every time I have an idea, I feel like my ideas are all shot down.
Shortly after that, she kept pushing them until one of them goes, will you stop it with the whining? And then she grabbed their most crucial tools, machete and a knife, and threw them in the river. When one of them went to get it, she said, that's mine, and stole it back. This is what feminists are doing to Western society. They are just being brats. They're taking our tools, the tools we need to help them, and they're throwing them in the garbage and sabotaging the whole project. We have to be brave and not afraid and lay out the bare naked truth that feminism is not reality. The general truth is men and women are different.